And if your headphones are too loud or too soft, I can adjust it here. Just let me know.
Okay.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Shin Gear. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Well, you can tell we are in the throngs of off season because I am drinking. The only thing in that refrigerator was Arnold Palmer from November. Probably sooner than that. Anyway,
the boys
we'll be getting our first shipment pretty soon.
The boys are starving around here, and they're ready for the ladies to start having meals, and we're a month away, basically.
Yep.
I mean, we've got, I think, 5 weekends left before hunting season, and then we're busy until February. About January 20th, I'll be like, boy, I'm ready to wave the white flag. And we'd like to congratulate you, Andy.
On what?
Well, there's something you have that someone else doesn't have.
I know what that is.
In June, you will still have a job, and Stephen Colbert doesn't. So congratulations on that.
Well, I'm trying to get fired, but it just isn't working.
Well, you're more important than he is.
I'm trying to get rid of all this, and you're just not firing me.
No, not going to happen. With us today from Knox City, via Lubbock, Texas, via California, Oklahoma City too.
Norman, been around there, and currently in Trophy Club, Texas.
In Trophy Club, where the big hitters all live.
Yeah, no.
Ex Knox City student and ex Texas Tech Red Raider like Andy, Mr. Byron Waldrip. How you doing?
Good. Well, I'm not a Texas Tech Red Raider. I graduated from UTA Arlington.
Yeah, he went to.
You ran track at South Plains.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
And then transferred out to UTA to get into the RTVF programs, and then that took me out to California. And of course, 15 years ago, my first son was born. We came back home, and it's been a fun ride ever since.
What?
I went to South Plains for 2.5 years. I only had to take 2 classes in Levelland. I went to the Recenter.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Every time I had to drive to Levelland, I was like, oh my God. We're falling off the edge of the earth here.
You only went to there 2 years.
No, that's 2.5.
I thought you went to Tech 2 years.
I started and I went there 2.5. I squeezed. I was able to squeeze a 4-year degree into 5. I don't know how I did it, but it was pretty phenomenal that I had a 4-year degree and made it into a 5-year career.
Andy was a good student. He was our good son. Always has been. When did you graduate from Knox City?
92.
So you were a lot old. You're a lot younger than Michelle.
Yes.
5
Michelle's
years.
5 years.
I bet when you were in junior high, she was a smoking hot chick in town.
Oh yeah. I mean, my goodness. I mean, she was the crush of all the junior high boys.
Yeah, and I'm married her. Boy, them some bitches don't know what they missed out on.
You did. You know, I was telling her the other day. She and I were on the Facebook, and I said to her, you know what? You're a bona fide KC legend. You should be the Queen Mother of Knox City.
Yeah, if they had Monday used to have the all-time homecoming queen where they would do one for the whole deal. Michelle would definitely be up in the running for that.
Oh yeah,
I mean, she's probably one of the biggest. I'm trying to think of the word for it. She's a really good part. She shows off Knox City really well.
Yes.
She's not embarrassing them. She is a very good matriarch. Isn't the word? I don't know what the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's a good word. But, she represents what Knox City is.
Yeah, and still does.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been a big part of that, but Michelle is. But yeah, she was. I used to tell everybody all the time, and I tell her this all the time. You're the best looking old woman in here now. And she doesn't always appreciate the old part. But when she was younger and we'd go somewhere, Michelle was usually the prettiest woman in the room. Just about everywhere we would go.
Oh, yeah.
We were in Vegas one time. I think people thought she's a prostitute. They're like, I see that old fat guy right out there. He's a good-looking woman. She got to be a prostitute. Anyways.
How was that for you growing up with a good-looking
Tell
woman?
me, Andy, how you enjoyed that with your friends.
When I was in high school, the song Stacy's Mom came out.
Yeah.
Stacy's Mom's got it going on. So my friends all renamed it Andy's Mom.
Oh,
so
that's great.
For a whole 6 weeks, I'd walk into the cafeteria for breakfast, and that was what I was greeted to, was Andy's Mom.
But then
I started learning to punch back at an early age. Like
Yeah.
I'll just talk about your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Flip the script.
But now your sons are going to have that problem because Jesse's a very attractive lady.
Wife.
I don't say that because she's like my daughter, so she's been around so long, so I don't
that's
consider
okay.
her hot.
Hey,
but
yeah.
she's really pretty. I did compliment her on her bathing suit yesterday. We did a swim party for our youngest.
Mother appropriate.
I told her, I said, I'm glad you didn't wear the bikinis that you wore when we're in vacation in Mexico, Jesse. That would have been quite the talk of the town. Why does all these people keep driving around the pool all day? Well, Jesse's wearing her Mexico bikini.
Well, I tell you,
And you got to flaunt it.
I really lucked out in the sense that my wife, we've been together for 29 years, married 21, and she looks like she's getting younger.
Really?
Yeah, it's really weird. She's
That's
getting
a
younger.
very
I'm losing
good
my
thing to
hair.
say. You're doing good. It's good.
No, I mean, it's true,
Nice
though.
compliment.
Everybody says that. They say, oh, look at you getting young, and this old man here with no hair anymore.
Yeah, I'm turning gray and my hair's turning loose. So
You want that though. If you went somewhere, people
100%.
like I'd have people sometimes. Does that bother you? Hell no. I'd rather you think my wife's hot. I did, or I wouldn't have married her. I'm telling you right now, if Michelle would have looked like fucking Elephant Man, I would never asked her out. I've told her that many times. You're good looking. That's why I married you. Because if you weren't pretty, I would have never got to know you.
Yep.
And still, a lot of times when you're griping at me, I'll see you and I'm like, well, it's worth it because there's some guy out there married to a big grease hog, and he's like, I wish my wife was hot and bitching at me right now instead of being nice and cooking for me.
It's actually kind of a turn on when you see that really ticked off look.
Yeah.
And she looks at you with that look. You're scared, but it kind of turns you on a little bit.
So you ran the 300 hurdles. You went to state in it.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of the shittiest races. So I did the quarter. I thought that was a shitty race.
Well,
but I wasn't having to jump.
Well, they're the same race.
Right.
They really are. I mean, as far as just you're either running the quarter or, at 300 meters, for some reason, it's just that you're jumping 8 times. But I had Coach Reisinger, and he was I would still say one of the greatest track coaches ever in Texas. But he knew that I was smaller than everybody else, and I wasn't faster than any of the guys I beat.
Right.
Or not all of them, but particularly down at state, I was just a technician. I had that 17 steps, 15 in the hurdle, and I was left-legged, so I could hug that inside curve.
Right.
It really helped me out. And so, but if I'd had any sort of blip or something, it would throw it.
If your steps were off.
Yeah, so that's where I was able to succeed. It was because of his true knowledge and teaching me how to figure out the steps and figure it out. I'm just gonna have to get over them quicker.
Yeah.
So that was it. But it was either that or the quarter. And actually, my senior year, I started having really bad shin splints, and at one point, I had almost thought I actually could go over and switch and run the quarter because they're back to back.
The 300 and the quarter.
Yeah, whenever
right.
So you can only run one or the other. So in any case, I kind of thought, man, I look at the times that I could place in the quarter at the time, but my dad said, hey, you've been sticking with these hurdles since you were 10 years old, so stick with it.
Right. Yeah.
And it worked out. But
And you're not tall for a hurdle guy.
no, I'm short.
And
Technician.
I
That's what he
thought,
said.
but I always expect a hurdle guy to be a long-legged.
That's probably more prevalent in the 110s.
Oh, the 110s, yeah, I couldn't. There's no way I could have
jump.
Right, because now I'm jumping. 110s, you have to just smooth over them. You have to
Yeah.
be able to just kick that leg up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
I did that in junior high, and we were doing the 110 hurdles and we were practicing, and I got off on my steps and I just biffed it. Just.
Oh, I had plenty of those.
But
for
after
sure.
that, you're like, okay, like on that third step, like you better be going. Like you better have your stride down to where it's 1, 2, 3, and stick it up there. Because if you're off on your steps, you're going to short it and you're going to land, your front leg's going to go right into that thing.
Absolutely.
And trip over. So in high school, my coach was kind enough to switch me over to the quarter and the mile relay.
Yeah. How did all that go for you guys?
So it was a man maker.
Yes,
He
it
wanted
is.
he wanted his quarterback to be doing the quarter and the mile relay.
It's true.
Get some of that dog in you.
It's the man race.
And they told us, well, I had Coach Welch as my track coach, and he's like, quarter's the simplest thing you can do. He said, you're going to sprint this corner, you're going to sprint the curve, you're going to stride the straight, you're going to lean into that second curve, and you're just going to empty your guts out on that last 100. And I was like,
that's it.
That's easy enough for me. I can remember that.
That's it.
So that's
the
what
way
I
to
would do. I've started running 800s with my family on Saturdays. That also sucks because it's short. It's too long to sprint the whole thing, and it's too short I think that's backwards.
To be distance.
Right. Right.
Too short to be distance, but it's too long to be.
Yeah, it's just kind of that middle ground of just torture the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, for some reason, well, that's the thing. I came in my freshman year and I was really good at distance. And Coach Ressinger originally had me running distance. And I begged. I said, I won district in the hurdles and, in 8th grade, so I wanted to run in high school. He thought it was, I was too short at the time. I was 106 pounds, dripping wet, so I wasn't going to be anything. But then my sophomore year, I sprouted up, and that's when I really kind of caught up with a lot of folks with that. And then that year, me and Andy, Billy Wayne, Large, and Boyce, we went 1, 2, 3 in just about every track meet we went to. Actually, we did go 1, 2, 3 in every single track meet. I was the sophomore, and they were the 2 seniors. I did get them one meet. I got them one meet, and they came back with a vengeance.
So y'all had a lot of speed then, too, then?
Yeah, we did.
Were they any good in football then?
Yeah, that was back when Augie Rodriguez and those guys. And
Andy Barnard?
Andy Barnard was before us.
Andy was older.
Andy was with Waney and them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right around there.
We were just about, 89, 90.
Oh, Richard Howarth was with
Richard Howarth,
Yeah,
yes.
he's
Richard,
a good guy. He's
Augie.
battling cancer real bad.
I know, yeah.
Super good man. Super, super good dude.
I chat with him pretty much daily on
I'd like to get him on the podcast if he gets well enough. I mean, he's in really bad shape. He's a good man.
Oh, he is.
I really like him.
The amount of spirit that guy has had, even before the cancer, just the always positive, always loving the family, and the family's everything. And he's a true family man.
I made a post probably 6 months ago about that, and Richard is one of the people I was talking about. But the people that I know that are battling stage 4 cancer, I never, ever, ever hear them complain. Never, why me? But the family says that, and of course they do. I think, why has it got to be him? I've said that before about, my friend Harry died real fast from cancer.
I remember,
and it was a real quick deal. And then there's this, I know of a person that's a real piece of crap, been in all kinds of trouble, done stuff, just an evil person. He had stage 4 cancer. Now he's completely cured now. Just automatically went away somehow. And I think, sometimes you're like, well, why does he get to survive? And so many good people don't get that chance. But you never hear the people that have stage 4 cancer ever say, why me? It's like they look at life different. Like they know that their time's limited. So we're going to appreciate what we have and be fortunate that the time that we did have.
That's absolutely it. I had really, I guess a couple of years ago, had this just revelation of life is more than just me, and I think once you sort of break out of that, we all have our selfish, I still always wanted to accomplish things and put those, and that's just things for us to do here on this earth to do positive things and help people. But, that's what it turned into for me. I was not working for anybody else but myself, my family. Even then I wasn't. I was just, and getting back to that thing right there, watching my father-in-law go through stage 4, and then my other father-in-law, I had 2 great father-in-laws, so, have him go through Alzheimer's, and you see this, and as you see the men that they are during those times, and you see them really just step up and accept that, hey, yeah, I've had a wonderful life.
Yeah.
And that's...
I've never been a big Ozzy Osbourne fan. I mean, I like some of his songs, but like a true fan, I don't. But for whatever reason, TikTok started showing me like what he went through to do that last performance 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Like he was in such bad shape, he couldn't stand up, obviously. But like they had to make a chair and strap him in it, otherwise he would just fall out because he's got Parkinson's, I think is what it was. So there was that. He couldn't take his medicine that day because it would have slurred his speech really bad. So like all the pain that he was going through, he had nothing to block it. I don't know how long he performed for, but that entire concert, he had no medicine, nothing to blunt the pain, and just laid it all out there. Knowing that this was going to be his last one.
I read last night, and it had to be a misprint. You know how much money supposedly they raised at that concert? Because was it Black Sabbath? Is that who came back and played?
Black Sabbath, yeah.
They said $196 million was raised worldwide for that. And that can't be right. I hope it is, but I just can't. And it went to, did it go to Parkinson's research, all the money or something?
He donated it all.
It all was donated.
Well, that's why they raised so much, because so many people knew. And I mean, you get corporations involved, and you get just the average person giving.
Yeah, you're right. 190 million.
It's 190. That's almost,
Yeah, that's
a quarter of $1 billion almost
in one night.
in one night.
Just to show you what we can do when we come together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a really good purpose. I mean, that's experiences are a big thing now too. Authenticity
Yes.
is what's really coming back to the.
Well, I'm going to tell you what Ozzy has done for me. Ozzy's given light that these people that work out and shit all the time are wrong. Because he did not work out. He ate what he wanted. He partied. He done sex, drugs, rock and roll, did everything. He lived to be 77 years old, which is the average.
Yeah.
And lived a hell of a life. Fun. But you look at Sammy Hagar, same way. He looks great for his age. Mm-hmm. Hell, he's got to be 80 years old now. I mean, outside of the greatest guitar player of all time, Eddie Van Halen, all them guys are still kicking. I saw David Lee Roth on a video this morning wearing some tight leather pants, which he did not need to be wearing. But he was singing Panama, and he was ripping it. He still got it after, and then he sang Hot for Teacher. But look at, what's the guy? Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
Keith Richards.
Keith Richards. That's the one that's still.
Yeah. I think he was at the Last Supper even. He's fucking 400,000 years old.
He was at the Last Supper. But he was the drunkest there, too.
But it's just those guys just keep going. They're pickled.
Yeah. But, there's a lot to be said about when you enjoy your life. Yeah. I think.
Ozzy did that.
That's a big positive. Recently I saw something the other day that really fascinated me was they did this study with water. So they took this water and they did positive ions towards it, and they did actual vocal positive voices speaking to the water. Mm-hmm. And they froze it as they were doing the positive charge. And then they did it with a negative charge to another water, and they did the same negative thing to it. The negative water, when it froze, the ice was clumped up and it was almost just like white ice. It didn't really have any form. But when they did the microscopic look at the positive water, perfect snowflakes.
Really?
So
even water is affected by
our bodies are 70% water too.
That makes sense.
That's amazing. Before we get off topic, I also read this morning too, since we're talking about everything. We talked about earthquakes and volcanoes the other day.
Yes.
Remember? Mount Rainier at Seattle has had 800 earthquakes in the last month.
Really?
Yep. They said sign that it is going to get very active and blow as a volcano pretty soon. Now, scientific terms, pretty soon could be 10,000 years. It could be tomorrow. But it is getting a lot of activity on it. It has nothing to do with what he's talking about. I just read it, and I wanted to talk about that real quick.
Well, don't bring that negativity in here.
It's not negative. It's just that's what we're talking about.
That's positive energy.
It's just,
It's explosive.
Yeah.
It's going to change our world.
What are they saying as far as, what
they don't know nothing about how big it would be, but if it erupted like Mount St. Helens, as close as it is to Seattle, it would disrupt and be pretty disruptive.
Yeah,
that was a weather changer too. The Mount St. Helens, we didn't pay much attention to it now as we would today.
That's what. Yeah,
I mean, I think they had 6 inches of ash cleared at Kansas City from Mount St. Helens.
Wow!
And I know that it stayed full of ash and stuff, all of the Boise, Idaho, all that area, Salt Lake City and stuff. They had, foot of ash probably.
That's amazing. Even the only time I've seen ash like that was when we lived in California, and there was a huge fire. It's actually the day my son was born, a huge fire out in the, I forget what mountains out there, but not the Padres.
The Sierra Madres?
Yeah, and it was so big that it was raining ash in LA.
That's crazy.
Just a fire. I mean, but I guess something picked it up and pulled it out there, but it was really bizarre.
We were in Seattle in August and you could smell the smoke. And then Payne told me, he said it's fire season. You can smell it all the time. I guess it blows up from California. They have fires in California come out there.
Mm-hmm.
How long did you live in LA for?
Oh, goodness, too long.
From Knox City to LA, can you imagine that lifestyle change?
Almost a decade.
You lived there 10 years there?
Yeah, almost.
The weather in California is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about it. It's a beautiful place. You can see the mountains. You've got the ocean right there.
Uh-huh.
But it's got to be the most dangerous place in the world if you get the wrong street. Especially with their rules with crime now, where they don't do nothing to nobody.
Now, I can't imagine living there now with all of the poverty that's happened over the last just 5, 6, 7 years there. But back then, I say back then is only, during the aughts. But it was like that. I mean, if you get in East LA, you get over there in the Chavez Ravine, you go to the Dodger Stadium if you get off on one of the wrong roads. But even there, Dodger Stadium, yeah, that area was getting pretty rough for a little while too until, they came in and cleaned up. Dodger started getting a little bit better. But it is one of those places. I mean, you're crammed in on top of everybody else. There's every parking sign, there's nowhere to park at all at any time. If you really look at all the parking signs and you read them, you can't park here. Like, you can't park here. And that's the weirdest thing about, if you drive a car there, you're getting ticketed.
So where do you like in your neighborhood? You lived in a regular neighborhood, right?
Yeah, we lived in what they called was a condo, and it was really just a 1970s 800-foot apartment that, was right in the middle of, we were right off of Veteran Park in Westwood there.
Did you have a parking space of your own?
Yeah, we did. We had the underground parking space. That's one thing that they did. They would provide the underground stuff or parking for your units. It was either underground or up above ground.
And traffic there is just always backed up.
Always. Yeah.
There's never a good time to drive your car.
Yeah, there's, funny thing about there is you call it the 405.
Yeah, the 405.
The 405, the 10. And we lived, the entire time I lived there, Veteran Park is bellied up to the 405. And then we moved over the hill and did the Sepulveda Pass. And that's just basically riding the 405 over. So an 8-mile ride every day was no quicker than 45 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Good Lord.
We have there are attorneys there, but they're brothers and they hunt with us every year. And they said the same thing. Like, if I leave my house at 5:30, I can get there in 20 minutes. If I leave my house at 5:40, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yes.
It's just 10 minutes difference, and you just figure you're going to spend your morning in the car.
They also offshoot their daily hours. Like, a lot of offices, you don't come in till like 9:30.
To try to ease the traffic.
Yeah, some would come in at 6:30, some come in at 9:30, and they just did that to ease traffic.
God, can you imagine being in the West Coast and coming in at 9:30? That's 12:30. And it's already half the day's over in New York already.
Yeah, absolutely. But what's really weird, that town doesn't go to sleep like Vegas, so their news starts at 10. Just the 9 o'clock news we see here, the early news. I mean, it starts at 10. And then you have another news thing, so you're not watching the late shows or whatever till 11:30.
Right.
Payne told me what he loved about football on the West Coast, though. You get up at breakfast and football's on almost.
Yes.
And he said at nighttime, the last game's over with at 7, 8 o'clock at night. So if you want to go do something, you can still do something.
Yeah, you should I always enjoyed that. We got the whole evening to kind of go out on a Sunday, or particularly for Team One, they lost. Or going home.
But like here, Sunday night football some nights is 11 o'clock at night before it gets done. Well, out there it's 8 or 9 o'clock. So it wasn't that bad.
It would spin me out being 2 hours behind everybody. Like, my brother's in Hawaii right now. They're 5 hours behind us. I would hate that because it's 5:45 right there right now. And it's almost lunchtime here. But there's been times where we vacation and been on Pacific time, and by the time I wake up, I've got a million text messages. Social media's done what it's done, and I just look at my phone and I'm like, I am so far behind. I'm so far behind already.
What about when the East Coast guys text you at 5 o'clock in the morning? Because I've got two friends of mine on the East Coast that message me all the time, and they'll message me or call me on their way to work. Yeah. Well, Jesus.
That doesn't bother me if I'm only 1 hour behind, but if I'm 3 hours behind, for whatever reason, I've just got a mental hurdle of looking at my phone and having all these notifications and being like, oh, God, I'm behind the 8 ball already.
I want to know when we're going to get rid of this daylight savings time, when we're going to finally just leave it.
I wish we would.
One way or the other.
How's that affect you guys, the hunting?
Well, we have it's good and it's bad. The good side with the time that we have during hunting season now, and I don't know if it's whichever one we're at, whatever this time is right now, we're going to change back to the other one. So it's going to get dark at 5:45,
right,
in the middle of December. Right. We serve dinner here at 6 o'clock every night. We eat at 6 o'clock during hunting season, except dove season we eat at dark, so it's like 9:30. 1st of September it's 9:30. By middle of October, we're eating dinner at 8 o'clock at night because it's getting dark shorter. And then we get to the time change when waterfowl season gets here. The good part is dinner at 6 o'clock. The bad part of that deal is Andy and them are starting legal shooting time is 6:15 in the morning at first?
I can't remember. I have to leave my house. So when we always have a day where it's the time that we're on now. So we leave the lodge at 6 a.m. and then on Sunday we leave the lodge at 5 a.m. So my whole day starts an hour earlier.
I wish
day.
we would.
So I get up at 3:15 most of the season, and then for that one day, I get to get up at like 4:30, 4:15.
Right.
So I wish they would keep it for the guide's sake. I would love for it to start off an hour later, like shooting time be at like especially when we get into December, shooting time would be 8 o'clock in the morning almost. That wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But we'd have to have dinner at 7 o'clock at night. I like having dinner here at 6 in the evening time because I get to be home by 8 o'clock. Even on our busiest days here, I'm usually home by 7:30, 8 o'clock. We do dinner, we get everything picked up. I get everybody out. I'm usually the last. I'm always the last person to leave here. But every time I get all the guys around to the pro shop in the office, come in and bullshitting and talking, they buying stuff. Time I get everybody out of my office at 7:30 to 8 o'clock. But I'm home by 8. That's not bad. Because I go home at 8 o'clock. It's like a regular deal.
Yeah.
I go home at 8. I wake up at 5 at the field by 6 o'clock. Well, it could be 7 if it was later in the day. Yeah. But I don't want it to be 7 and me getting home at 9 o'clock. So it's got two sides to it. It really that's the only thing a lot. And I understand why they don't want to, because when it's still dark at 7:30 in the morning, you think about all them kids going to school buses and stuff everywhere.
I know it.
But I can't think of why we have to jack with the time. I don't like it getting dark. What time does it get dark now? 9 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It feels way too late. But as a kid, I loved it in the summertime because you get night till you get it till. But now I'm getting starting tired.
Well, we grew up you grew up in Knox City. I grew up in Wichita Falls, but we went in. It used to be when the street lights come on, and I'd hear my mom, Jeff, Tony, and she'd just holler outside, and hell, we might be 4 blocks away, and somebody heard your mom hollering at y'all. Oh, let's go home, and we'd all go home. But all the kids get off the street at the same time at dark. Well, and so it was 9:30 at night. I didn't mind that. But boy, I tell you what's hard is, and especially happened a couple of weeks, the grandkids start school again. They'll be like, well, it's time to go home and go to bed. We got school tomorrow, guys, and it's still light outside.
We kind of adhere to the same bedtime year round.
Yeah, but that's going to change as your boys get older.
Well, obviously, but like right now, so like even when summer's going on, like they're still kind of going to bed when the sun's out.
What time they go to bed now?
9 o'clock about.
Unless they spend the night with the grand folks.
Well, it's just if they're up all the time, me and my wife can't watch whatever crap show we want to watch.
So it's about y'all, not the kids.
100%.
Yeah, put on the bed.
I didn't have them for their pleasure. That's not how we're running this house. We started watching Prime has a series on the Idaho murders, and that was a grisly murder.
I'm watching one badass series right now.
But anyway, so we watched it's 4 episodes, which I love because you can get through the series. You don't have a whole lot of
Yeah,
fluff.
you're already halfway through, about 2.
We watched 3 episodes in one sitting, and then my wife, we lay down in bed, and she's like, I can't go to sleep. And I'm like, well, you fucking better hurry because I'm going to start snoring here in about 30 seconds because I'm tired. And so sure as shit, I'm snoring in about 2 minutes, and then my youngest son, he still gets in bed with us in the middle of the night, and it was midnight. And he got in bed with us, and I never woke up. So the next day, my wife, I'm getting coffee, and she's like, you never even stirred when Jameson got in bed with us. I was like, oh, okay. What if we had a murderer in the house? I'm like, I guess you better fucking wake me up because I'm not going to hear it.
Yeah, well, you probably would have been yelling, screaming at
start kicking me or something.
The new series I'm watching is called Your Friends and Neighbors. It's on Apple TV. Have you watched that?
I'm not all the way through it.
I'm not either. I've got like 3 episodes. That's a damn good series.
Oh, man.
Is that the same guy that was on The Watch House or what? The Watcher?
I don't remember if it's The Watcher, but it's John Hamm who was in. He was in Landman.
Mad Men.
Recently. He was in Mad Men, but he was in Landman
too.
He was in Landman?
Landman.
He was the rich guy that died. Mm-hmm. That's who he was.
Fucking great. I just started Landman.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a great series too.
You might have to cut that one out.
Sorry.
Can't wait for that.
Well, you it's not no big shock. It's not a big shock.
It's expected.
Yeah, you as you get into it, you'll see.
Yeah, you kind of.
That Friends and Neighbors is freaking good. Because I start series all the time. Mm-hmm. If you got any kind of fantasy shit like superhero shit, I'm out. I don't give a shit what it is. Yep. Like Outlander, I really was excited about it, and then going back in time, I was like, I can't watch it. But so I started them, and a lot of them I don't like. I'll watch 1 or 2 episodes. I like Duster. Was on. I really enjoyed it. But I started watching this last night, and I thought, I'll give it a shot on Apple TV, and boom. It's 12:30 last night, and season 4 ends. I'm like, and I wanted to watch more, and I was like, I can't. I got to watch. I got to go back.
And you're just still watching all the way through.
I turned it off after that, but I will. I can't wait to watch it again. But it's a very good series. But I thought that was the guy that was in The Watcher. That his house was
No,
That's
I know
not
who you're
him.
talking about. That's not him.
And the guy that plays the his boss, the hedge fund guy, the real dickhead guy,
yeah.
that's the same guy that was in The Residence that played the really good doctor's dad.
Okay.
I notice on a lot of these shows like Netflix and Prime and stuff, it's the same actors that are in all the different series. They got different roles.
Yeah, what they do is they'll get with a production company, typically, that let's say that there's a producer or an agency that has the same. An agency represents a bunch of actors. Well, they have a director that they like, so the agency will package together, with the producers, and then go pitch it to the studios to say, we have this director, we have these actors. They're all their actors for the most part, and they just package them in these deals, and then they get into these. So you'll see films a lot of times that look like they were. I mean, they didn't come out as a big release, but you'll start to see them on Netflix and in other places where it's might be the same producer, same actors are in the same thing, and they were kind of shot around the same time period.
Right.
Well,
So they can go in and they can come in and say, we got a 3-picture deal right now. I mean, we got 3 pictures that are lined up and ready to go. We can just go boom to boom to boom.
Well, that's a really good series. I really have enjoyed it so far.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of little things in it, like the expensive watches and shit. But
Right,
it's a
yeah.
really
There's a lot of product placement in that one.
boy. There's a bunch of it, but it is a really. It's the whole premises of the whole thing is I really enjoy.
Oh
it.
yeah. I mean, and that's the content that they're coming up with is getting pretty good again. I guess they're having to be more content driven other than the superhero stuff, because we really got over blasted with that. I mean,
that was because of the China market.
yeah.
They eat up the superhero shit, the comics and all that stuff. I just that's not my cup of tea. Like, I won't watch the new Superman. I don't think my kids,
It was fun.
My
It was
kids
fun.
like Batman, and my grandkids like Batman, so I would watch Batman if it was on TV. I did like the one with Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man.
I
thought those were pretty good. That's probably my favorite of any of those. I'm just not into that, and I'm not into the Star Wars shit.
Yeah.
But I love these. I love these series.
You don't have the Force with you?
No, we went. One of the weirdest things we saw when we were at was it Universal or Disney? When was Star Wars at? Whatever one of it is, we went to one of the Star Wars. Disney. They have a area that looks like you're in the freaking middle of nowhere desert, and it was all Star Wars shit. Is seeing 40-year-old men buying lightsabers. It just cracks me up.
I would buy them for my kids and
$250 a piece.
Oh wait, yeah, those are the ones that are just almost darn near real.
Yeah,
they just don't cut your arm off.
The
Yeah, they just don't cut you,
make the
yeah.
sound. You can fight with them.
Yeah.
Speaking of Landman, I did not know Jerry Jones was such a good actor.
He's just being himself.
I saw the clip on social media. He almost made me cry.
He been himself.
You think so?
He's
He
100%.
wasn't a play. He don't have to act. Do you act in here?
No.
You're
but
yourself.
I mean, even if he was being himself, like once the cameras start rolling, like, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard, but I guess he's done it for so long.
Don't forget that Jerry Jones is quite possibly one of the greatest entertainers of
True.
American history.
Him and, Steinbrenner, and, you got
Al Davis.
But
Al
just his
Davis.
personality, the way they
Right.
knew how to be.
Yeah.
I am the Dallas Cowboys now.
Yeah.
And come hell or high water, that's the way it's going to be. Al Davis, like you said, Steinbrenner, same thing.
Yeah.
He-
I
I thought about that the other day. He is probably, I'm going to say, the greatest owner in NFL history.
Oh, yeah.
And not by wins or losses, because his last 30 years have been pretty bleak. But for what he brung to the game. Because if you remember, he got Nike. Did a
Yes.
separate deal with Nike.
Pepsi.
All that stuff. He did all that stuff. Were they the first ones to name a football stadium?
Well, they always kept it Tech Stadium, but they're the first ones to put other advertising inside the
Yeah,
stadium.
nobody
Pepsi,
else- I mean-
Pepsi didn't have a deal with NFL, and he said, "Screw it."
Yeah, like when you used to watch a game before, it would be live from Irving, Texas.
Irving, Texas.
Cowboy
Yeah,
Texas Stadium.
yeah.
And if you went to Foxborough and Gillette, it was always
They didn't call it Gillette. They just
the Patriots Stadium in
Patriots Stadium.
Flushing Meadows, or all them little towns had all the names. Rich Orchard Park and all that.
the Meadowlands.
Yeah. And now it's AT&T Stadium, Levi Strauss Stadium. I mean, they all are named, but Jerry Jones is one that did all that shit.
Of course. He's the one too that I think this is very interesting. But back when he was helping Stan Kroenke get the Rams back to LA, he was dead set on helping with that because they knew it would help the NFL. They didn't have any teams in the number 2 market, and they needed to put some teams back in there again. And they built that stadium. But in order for them to get the city to, because they were still playing at the Coliseum, in order to get the city to sort of come in and pay the taxes and do all this stuff, the Rams had to get good. The Rams started to get pretty good that year. And if you guys recall, the most egregious call in NFL history was when the receiver for the Saints, the running back, gets tackled by the Rams guy, and you see the referee come out, start to pull out his flag, and the other ref goes, literally waves him down, do not. And the Rams went to the Super Bowl, and then they got their stadium.
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
No, that's exactly what I mean. There's a lot of shit goes on there. But Jerry owns 3% of the NFL because them owners own the league. There's 32 teams, so it's a little over 3%. So 3.3% or something of everything, transaction that happens. He's getting 3% of that money.
They share.
That's right. It's revenue sharing. So going to L.A. was big for them.
Huge.
It's a terrible market for an NFL team, though, because nobody watches the game. They don't have no...
It's only for the media. It's only for the media.
Really?
Like the Chargers would be better to be in San Diego.
Chargers should have stayed in San Diego.
I still can't believe that they haven't, somebody moved them back there. But St. Louis, I was in St. Louis this week. St. Louis deserves a team.
They do.
And so
you see how they packed that UFL stadium?
Yeah. That's because that's the only game in town.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Because like we've always, like you watch like any LA game, and that stadium's so huge. I don't know how many it seats, but it's always like half empty or half full, depending on how you look at it.
Or it's the visiting team has got half the people there.
They've got, if the Packers go, like it's going to be majority Packer fans. But like, so how does that work? Because it is a weak fan base, but it makes sense for TV. Like, how does all that like transpire to where it is worth having a team out there, even if the fan base isn't like the Green Bay Packers fan base or the Dallas Cowboys?
Their TV viewership in California is bigger.
Yes. And remember that they're so connected to Hollywood. That's why back in the day when USC was playing against Texas, USC was the pro team. And I lived there during that time. And USC was a pro team.
Yeah, all the
they were
stars
treated like pro team.
Yeah, that was their team.
And so that's the way now. So if you're in LA, you're right there in the hot LA market. You're the hot interview market. You're right, you're there. But what is interesting is, the way that they don't really have to promote as much to the East Coast and other football because, we're all still caught up in our own teams. And wherever they play, and if they're going to go there, the reason why Jerry also wanted to put that stadium there is the Dallas Cowboys have the huge market. They have the largest
California,
market.
yes.
They have a huge market right there in LA. They have the Oxnard. And that was done, that was put on purpose a long time ago. Way back in the day when Landry started
Sherman Oaks.
But they took them out there.
Or Thousand Oaks.
Thousand Oaks.
To get more of the California market. That's why they did a training camp out there.
Because they were marketing America's team back then. First to bring the cheerleaders on television. First to change the uniforms to fit with black and white television and the new color to make it shine.
Oh, really?
That's why their pants look green. You ever see those pants in real life and they look green?
Yeah.
But it popped out on screen.
On the black and white.
Yeah, and it even popped out better when the color was first coming in.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a Gil Brandt thing.
It was.
It was Gil Brandt that did that. He was a very innovative man, too.
That was, it was all the America's team stuff with that. But that's why. Looking back, Jerry understood the NFL is bigger. He's going to make more money with the NFL than he would with just the Dallas Cowboys, even though the Dallas Cowboys carry.
Yeah.
Well, they don't.
No, they
around
do.
the world, monetarily, they carry.
Oh, you can go anywhere and like, I hate Dallas, the Cowboys. I'm not a Cowboy fan at all. I respect a lot of their players.
Yeah.
I think they're screwing up with Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
Right now as we speak. And Jerry, what he did yesterday was stupid to come out against Micah and Dak. That doesn't make sense. But Dallas is either loved or hated. There's no in between. There ain't nobody that's kind of a Cowboy fan. They're either diehard 100% in the Cowboys or they want to see them lose. But people like me watch to hope they're going to lose. I've enjoyed the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Because they've lost a lot. I did not like the Jimmy Johnson years, and I didn't like the Roger Staubach years growing up because the Cowboys won a lot.
I don't think that they've lost a lot. I just think that they've lost in key moments. They've always been a solid team.
But that's what makes it great.
They haven't been the team that we knew.
Right.
For 30 years. They won their last Super Bowl in
92?
96.
96.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 30.
Super Bowl 30, yeah.
So 29 years now.
Yeah, I mean,
they haven't even
half
been
of
to
the
a
NFL season, the longevity,
Yeah.
the Cowboys haven't scored, or haven't won a Super Bowl, or
Yeah.
even hasn't even been to
The
championship game in 25 years. But and that goes to like you saying, like the Cowboys will carry wherever they go. If you knew that the Cowboys were going to go 9-8, 500, they're going to be a 500 team, they would still have 6 primetime games just because of what Jerry Jones has created with it being America's team.
Jerry knows that mediocrity doesn't matter because the jerseys will still sell.
Yeah.
It's a fan base thing, and it's because they're the Dallas Cowboys. Like, there's teams that have a big following. Like, right now, I think Patrick Mahomes is bigger than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
And you can't say that about a lot of players and teams. But Patrick Mahomes, I think, is bigger than the Chiefs. If they took Patrick Mahomes off today and wherever he went, that's going to be they're going to be on TV all the time because everybody's loves Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And Dallas, it didn't matter who was there, they had because of their loyalty to that market. The Raiders are the same way. The Raiders have a huge fan base.
I'm curious to see how the Raiders are going to this year.
A buddy of mine's said they're going to be the dark horse to go Super Bowl. I think he's on drugs.
I think they're going to mess up the West a little bit. I think they'll tear it up a little bit, and that West is going to eat each other up because San Diego. See, there we go.
I call them the San Diego all the time.
Yeah, the Chargers. They're going to be pretty good, and then Denver's kind of
Andy's picking Denver to go Super Bowl.
really.
And I mean, it's July. That was just kind of. I wanted to
be
pick,
different.
I wanted to pick somebody that wasn't Kansas City or the Eagles. So I was like, "What's another team on the come up?" And I think it's the Broncos. Maybe not this year, but they were better than I thought they'd be.
I don't, man. You can never put anything past Harbaugh.
No, he's a great coach, and he does really, really good his second year. His statistics are phenomenal.
He bulked up that line.
Yep. What would be good for the NFL is if Buffalo or Baltimore could get over the hump and make it to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I think that I'm not an NBA fan at all, and the NBA Finals were probably boring for most people, and I don't watch any of it anyways. But to have Oklahoma City and Indianapolis play a team that never won it was probably good.
Yes.
Because it wasn't 10 years ago in the NBA before the season started, there was going to be 4 teams had a chance to win. It was all. Well, it's not that way now for them. So that's probably good for the NBA. And the NFL doesn't need Kansas City and Philadelphia in the Super Bowl again. Unless you're a Kansas City or a Philadelphia fan.
Yeah.
It's not good for the league to have the same teams every single year. And I think that's what New England kind of lost, where people loved New England for a long time, but then people hated them. You got sick of watching. People hate. Everybody loves a winner, but
Until you do it too much,
and then everybody hates you again. Except for your true fans, like the Redskins could win the Super Bowl 27 years in a row, and I'd be happy because I grew up I love the Redskins.
you were a Chiefs fan until they started winning too much, and now you're anti-Chief. Now you're anti anything Kansas City.
Hold on, there's a big difference between me being a Redskin fan and being a Kansas City Chief fan.
Okay.
I did like the Chiefs. They were probably one of my second or third. There's
and then they got to winning too much, and then you started crying.
No, I got the Taylor Swift deal was the final straw with me on that.
Here you go again.
Okay.
That was, and you can say what you want
She's
to.
$1 billion asset to the NFL. We've looked at the numbers.
We talked about the other day.
She's generated $1 billion
she's great
for the NFL.
I said me.
That's insane.
Yes.
$1 billion for the NFL alone.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how powerful she is. There's no doubt about it. She's talented, but I got sick of it, and a lot of other people did too.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm there.
Evidently, you weren't too pissed off about it because the NFL's profited $1 billion with her.
That don't have they ain't paying me nothing.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. She didn't hurt the product enough for you to turn off the TV.
I didn't turn the TV off. It turned me off on the Chiefs. I started going for the other team all the time. I got sick of that crap. But it was just like Tom Brady. I was glad to see them win for a long time. I liked the Patriots when Steve Grogan was there years ago.
Yeah.
I always loved their uniforms and stuff. Thought they were cool. But it kind of got the same way. The same team wins over and over again. And then Patrick Mahomes, if he goes in a 6-year slump and doesn't do good, then he's an old man fixing to retire. Then all of a sudden everybody's going to love him again. Because that's the same thing happens with all of them. They wanted to see I want to see it do it again one more last time.
They'll rebuild a line around them.
Yeah.
Still the same player.
Yeah.
They just got to rebuild around them.
But you want but you'll want to see that. But right now I'm not on the Chiefs bandwagon. But I love the Redskins. I have forever. I don't think I'd ever get sick of them winning it. I'm not getting caught up in them going real far. I think last year was kind of a unicorn for them.
They didn't score over 30 points all year. And they went 14-2.
Yep. Well, they play situational scoring, and they play good defense when they need to, and they got a good coach. And the Cowboys screwed up by not letting him get away, I think. I mean, Dan Quinn. I mean, Jesus Christ, he took the Falcons to the Super Bowl. Some bonehead plays on the end and a miracle to lose
it. Commanders with that.
Yeah.
I was out there. They're talking about bringing the Redskins name back.
Yeah.
Yep. They should. They should never taken it away.
Yeah,
We're too damn. That woke's not working, and it's showing it everywhere. You name a company that's went woke. Bud Light should be the poster child for go woke.
Oh, they were, and they suffered dearly for it.
And they still they'll never get it back.
Oh, that Bud Light will never come back.
Have they rebounded?
No. I mean, they're probably selling shit, but they're never. They was the #1 beer in America.
Right.
And I don't even think they're a top 10.
I don't know.
I think they had a deal with OU's Campus Corner at one time.
Oh, really?
I think after all that stuff, Campus Corner's like, I think we'll look for someone else. I know
Modelo is Jeff has said Modelo is the #1 selling beer in America.
Yep. Now. It replaced Bud Light
by a bunch. Mm-hmm. And I don't like Modelo. And I like Mexican beer. I'd rather have a Pacifico or a Dos Equis.
Tecate, man. I like Tecate.
Tecate's good, but I do not like Modelo's got a, I don't know, it smells like a Tijuana sewer or something.
It's
when
got
I
a little
open it
bit
up.
of stink.
I just don't care much for it.
A little wang to it.
It just something about it's not very good. Like Hollywood Nights. A little wang in it. I've had that taste in my mouth before. Great movie. If you haven't ever seen it, young people, Hollywood Nights. It's great.
Hollywood Nights or Harlem Nights?
Both of them are good.
Hollywood Nights.
Hollywood Nights is the first movie with Fran Drescher in it, and Tony Danza's first movie, and Michelle Pfeiffer's first movie.
Oh, okay.
It's a great movie. It's about some kids have a car club in California, and
sounds really familiar.
And they're going to go.
Sure
they're closing down Tubby's Drive-In or something.
Yeah.
And the Hollywood Nights is a motorcycle, is a car club there, and to get in, and so they make these kids do these things to get in, like haze them or whatever you call that. I can't remember what it is. But
kind of like American Graffiti knockoff.
Kind of like an American Graffiti. It's a different type deal. It's a little more boobs in it and some stuff. Yeah. But they make these kids
Hollywood
do different things. Well, they send these kids to Watts with they give them a tire, and that's naked and a tire, and they got to come get back to that some disc jockey. And they touch on so many things. It's funny. They're in Watts and they steal some sheets and stuff, and so then they think the Ku Klux Klan's. It's a funny ass show. I'm gonna have to watch it. Robert Wall, is that Robert Wool?
Robert Wall, yeah,
it's his first show. He plays New Bomb Turk in it, and Fran Drescher's a hot chick in it. And it's a
Michelle Pfeiffer, I'm sure.
She's a smoke show in this show. That's our very first movie. Her and Tony Danza both.
Did you ever see her in Grease too?
No.
Cool rider, and she dances on that ladder.
Oh, she's a good looking lady.
When I was a kid, she was one of my first crushes.
I saw. Speaking of ugly women, I saw. Who had it on there? Oh, I watched Greg Gutfeld last night. I don't ever watch it. It's the #1 talk show at night now, and that's why Stephen Colbert. I mean, he's blowing them away. But anyways, I watched the show last night for some reason. It was on for a little bit and watched it. And he's pretty funny. He's pretty quick. Whoever his writers are pretty good. But they had a picture of Ellen DeGeneres on there. She looks like Prince Charles. She's lived in England now for a year now. She moved away because America's terrible.
Yeah.
She's got fucking teeth that looks like an old English person should drink tea 10 times a day. Oh, she looks terrible.
You know, she's a very odd situation in Hollywood.
She's a vile lady.
You know, and that's what happens over time. You know, you start to see. I mean, looking back during that time there, now once you see under the veil and you see behind it, it just all goes away as far as the excitement of it. Now, I still love the idea of telling stories and, you know, making movies, and that's a fun thing. And these Angel Network now and a lot of stuff they're doing here in Texas is kind of really, really popping up as far as coming here to Texas. I'm concerned about them bringing Hollywood to Texas, though.
Well, Austin's already screwed up.
Well, Austin already has, you know, but...
Yeah, they're moving more and more to Texas now.
Yeah, Zachary Levi is doing $100 million movie studio down near, down near Austin.
Yeah,
and then
why does everybody want to go there? I'd move 100 miles away. Just I'm at the age now that I don't want to sit in traffic all day long.
Probably the same reason when LA was blowing up, everybody in California was like, why the fuck did they want to go to LA? Like, we got all this, we could do this.
But that all started in the early 1900s.
I'm sure it was always weird.
No. But I'm saying it was.
And the weather's nice. And I mean, where are you gonna move it to?
Austin's hot. I'm just saying. I understand why they want to come to Texas. Tax breaks.
Where would you move it to?
I don't know. I would rather be in Lubbock, Texas, than Austin.
You're too far out.
No, I
You're
understand.
centrally located.
You got
in
airports.
Austin.
You can go everywhere. It's not like you have to be close to something. I'd rather live in Dallas, Fort Worth than I would be in Austin. I'd rather be west of Fort Worth, Weatherford.
Yeah.
That area back there, much more. I just don't want to be in that Austin area. I know the traffic's bad. We get cooler and at least cooler up here than they get. I just don't want to. I don't want to live down there.
Fort Worth's awesome. Fort Worth is an awesome town.
That would have been a place I would go to if I'd lived in a big city in Texas. But I had a guy the other day from New York was calling to me. He said, "Man, I want to move to Texas so bad." I go, "Why?" He goes, "I want to be a Texan." He goes, "I just like the way y'all are. Y'all stand up for yourselves. You speak your mind. You're polite to people. You know, you're business friendly, and y'all carry guns. I mean, just everything about it. And I understand why people want to come here."
There's a big, in other places, I would say, Los Angeles, like in California, there's a big misunderstanding of Texans in many ways. I mean, there's been so much of this uber, ignorant, I don't like, anything other than, blah, 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 blah. And it's a tired thing now, but as technology has changed, you start to realize that it's smaller places like this right here in Knox City. I mean, Knox County, it has a voice to the rest of the world now. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have that 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So people just thought what they thought. Right. And now voices are coming out and people are talking using their voice, and this is almost better than having a vote at the polls, to be honest. It's like use your voice.
Right.
Use your voice. And that's where it's now coming back to the ground level again.
Yeah.
Handshakes can be made again because communication between individuals are going to be easier. What's the new Internet 4.0 or whatever that they're coming out with?
I haven't seen that.
It's basically a global breakthrough where you can just connect completely. Right now we have so many stopgaps to communicate to China. Web3, that's it.
People need to be able to talk though and visit, and they can't do that.
Yeah.
Young people especially.
Well, they have this weird way, and I don't understand it yet. I mean, I've got a 13-year-old son, and a 16-year-old son, and they have a whole different language within this, but right here too, they're working in different consciousness.
They're not even going to have thumbs by the time they're 50.
No, they will. They'll just be huge.
I'm telling you, that's all they use is their thumbs. They don't have to talk.
Circling back to that Idaho murder, one of the girls heard what went on, and she met the killer. She saw the killer leaving, but instead of going up so she's on the second floor. There's 3 levels. There's a basement, there's a main floor, and then there's upstairs. This girl was on the middle floor, basically. She was pretty sure her roommates had just gotten hatcheted up or something crazy happened because she heard them screaming and she heard all this commotion. She goes downstairs and texts the people upstairs and calls them. So kind of going to that new age of talking instead of just walking up a flight of stairs to go see if somebody's okay.
Probably saved her life, though.
I'm going to call them. Well, the guy had already left. But yeah, you're right. Like if she would have been just a couple minutes earlier.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah,
she called and called and texts, "Hey, are y'all okay? Are y'all okay?" Nobody answered because they're dead, obviously. She gets one roommate to answer. She's the girl in the basement, and then that's where she goes. That's at 4:00 in the morning, and then the first 911 calls at noon, then 8 hours later. Wow. But instead of just walking upstairs,
she
to have a
knock on it, and go, "Hey, you okay?"
Put eyes on this situation. I'll just call him. I'll just text him. So it's just kind of weird.
And I'll just keep doing it over
and over. Oh, they're probably passed out. But it's just that new age of communication that kids have today. Instead of face-to-face, phone calls work or text messaging work or FaceTime or whatever. So I'm like you. I think Jeff's pretty hard on the kids today. I think they just got a lot going on.
I agree, and I'll say this too. The kids today, what is happening and what I'm noticing, and I'm around my sons and their friends, and I noticed that we listen. Mm-hmm. Parents, we listen. They don't have the same. They kind of do, but they don't have the same type of conversations that we had that were pretty rough around the edges as kids. And they have a different thought process. They do. They are thriftier. They want authenticity. Mm-hmm. They do not at all want any like the AI. They use AI as a tool,
right?
But they don't want it as their art. They don't want it as anything that can, because it's not authentic. And that's something that a generation, we have a generation that's now expecting authenticity,
Right.
then they're going to start digging deeper into what's authentic and what's not, which it can be a really good thing. I think that it's just the generation gaps. Generation X, where we're out of. I mean, you're technically in, or are you out? You 1 year, or you still X, or
I have a clue what I am. I'm an old white guy.
His dad was a baby boomer. I'm trying to think of what you are.
He's your Generation X, and you're with me.
68 was when I was born.
Yep, you're X. You're X, Michelle. So we're Generation X, and that's just the attitude that we did. Latchkey kids, that was
Right.
the thing. So these kids now, they also know that there are eyes everywhere all the time.
I've heard that's the reason that kids aren't going to the bar anymore.
Well,
And cell phones, because we would do, and I was kind of the last generation that probably had this luxury. You could go to a bar, make an ass out of yourself, and it wasn't going to get posted on TikTok or your Facebook or whatever. But they said a big deterrent for kids now is cell phones being everywhere, and that eye in the sky always being there. If you get blackout drunk and go off and call somebody a bitch or use the N-word or whatever, that's going to be on the internet forever. So that's deterring a lot of kids from going to the bar. And that's what Jeff's always like. I just can't believe they're not going out drinking and fraternizing and, chasing women. It's like, well, something's always watching them.
Also, too, I've noticed even on the campus there at OU that the amount of people going out to go drinking and partying, they don't drink as much anymore either. They're basically going having a couple drinks and then they're doing some gummies. Yeah. But it's because kids we started believing them when they started telling us the cigarettes gave us cancer.
Right.
Now they're believing alcohol gives you cancer.
Right.
They're believing that. I mean, I think that alcohol is just going to be a minimal luxury. I think
so too.
Yeah. I mean, the big brands are going to stick around, but a lot of if you're trying to get in the alcohol business right now, it's
tough.
Yeah.
And I think psychedelics I think they're kind of starting to come around, mushrooms and everything like that.
Well, they're making drinks out of them now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big time. And then the marijuana, the cannabis, cannabis drinks.
I think that's going to be this generation's alcohol is mushrooms and marijuana.
It is.
More so than whiskey or anything like that.
Yeah, because, I mean, the whiskey drinker is now kind of an aged out thing, and I don't know that. I mean, in Texas, there's always going to be a piece of that.
Well, it's expensive, too, and young people can't afford. Like, when I was a kid, you could go buy a cheap bottle of gin, vodka, Old Crow whiskey or something, and you could buy and go to
plastic
Sonic.
skull bottle for $4.
Yeah, it was cheap. Well, most alcohol now, and you can still buy a lot of cheap shit, but the people want to buy these bourbons. Well, a kid can't afford $100 bottle of bourbon.
Well, and I think it goes back to what you were talking about, being authentic and just telling the truth. And I think this generation and a little bit in my generation, I feel like I was lied to about marijuana and psychedelics, and the fact that my parents, Jeff and my mom, were like the Ronald Reagan babies. This is your brain on drugs and everything. So whenever you experience anything, you're like, this isn't what I was sold it to be. And I think that that's what young kids today are like. Well, I was told it was this bad thing. And don't get me wrong, too much of anything is going to have a very negative effect. But if you use it responsibly, it can enhance your thinking. And that's what, this microdosing of mushrooms that a lot of people are doing now. They'll take a little bit of mushrooms early in the morning with their coffee or whatever, and then they're more productive, more creative. Their brains are firing a little bit better. So I think that's what these kids are like. We were lied to a long time ago, and now this is our opportunity to break it.
Yeah, evil weed was prohibition.
If you watch the show Dazed and Confused, that's my generation I grew up in. That's a little older than me, but I was
that movie came out whenever I was a freshman in college, so that movie is a generational movie for me. I felt like I lived it too.
It's time stamped for me. It was a couple years older than me. It'd been like I was in 5th and 6th grade when they would have been seniors in high school. But I knew all that was that generation I grew up with, and I knew about that. The kid that plays the long-haired kid that's the pothead that's in the show. I can't remember his name. He's been in a lot of shows. But
Rory Cochrane is the actor.
That kid is the quintessential pothead that I thought of as growing up. Yeah. So when I thought of potheads, I thought, who wants to be that fucking loser over there? Hey, man, just fucking stoned out of his mind. Never causes no problems and stuff. Just it didn't seem like he was going nowhere real fast. Kind of like Smokey on Friday. Just smoking.
Yeah.
Or what Smokey right on Friday. That was the pothead that I thought of. Now that I've gotten into my 50s, those people don't bother nobody. They're not stealing nothing. They're not breaking. I've never heard. I was a judge forever. I never had anybody ever do something dumb while they were smoking. If they were just on smoking marijuana, never had nobody breaking nothing. No fighting. No nothing. Never, ever, ever, ever. I can't say the same thing for alcohol.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, someone that was me, it was completely anti-pot. I'm not no more. Now, I'm not smoking anything. I've never smoked anything in my life. I don't like the smell of anything, but I'll take a gummy to help me sleep. And I don't have any problem at all doing that every single night. I take a gummy to sleep every night. And I've told so many people, and if you got ouchies, that hemp Hill Farm, that the CBD lotion, I use that shit all the time, makes your ouchies go away. I think it's a great medicine. But it's weird because I was as I had some kids smoke pot when I was in junior high at the bus stop.
Yeah.
And they were all getting high. And I heard one of them say, "What about Jeff?" Said, they were hiding it from me. He said, "Jeff don't care what you're doing." I didn't care what they did because he ain't going to do it. I grew up I guess it was instilled in me that Ronald Nancy Reagan made me think pot was going to kill me.
You know, she got that from her astronomer.
Oh.
Really?
Her astronomer, she was big into astrology, especially after the assassination attempt.
Oh, yeah.
And her astronomer told her the stars are in alignment or whatever, Mercury's in retrograde, and this needs to be the hill that you die on. You need to have a cause.
Yeah.
And it needs to be drug use in America.
Yeah.
So she took it and ran with it.
And that was crazy. You look back at, like the Reagans were the I guess the branded presidency.
Right.
That's what it seems like to me. It was a perfectly manicured, sort of put together. And you think about the fact that 4 years before World War I started, in 1937, Ronald Reagan started making military movies as an actor. And guess who was supplying those movies? General Electric was making those movies. They made 4 movies leading up to when we got bombed and went to war.
Really?
Ronald Reagan was already in the system.
And
Look at his, and in California, governor, Republican, politics, all the way through. He becomes president.
Wow.
6% went to 25% at the banks.
So
your brain on drugs, right
This
there.
is your brain on drugs right
so
here.
when you were in California,
Yeah.
you were what's the? I want to talk about this because you told me about this the other day.
Yeah.
The Frozen movie. The
Oh
voice
yeah,
guy.
yeah. So I was working at CESD talent agency, and this is Josh Gad, and he came in and he was such immediately there are people that the one thing I can say in LA, there are people when you meet them, you just know that there's something. They just have that aura, and it's not by anything they say. It's just kind of the way that they give you that straight kind of who they are, but they're fantastic actors. So he came in and they signed him to be one of our the commercial actors. And then they were going to do some voiceover stuff. CSD was is still the number one voiceover agency in the world. Dan Castellaneta from Homer Simpson from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
He's there with them. And I remember they told me when I started working there, said, if you ask Dan to do Homer, you're fired on the spot.
Just know this.
Yeah, just don't ask Dan to do Homer. But I'd sat in there with Josh, and for the longest time, they weren't calling him on the auditions, and he would call me up, and he would come in, and they would schmooze the assistants, and that's what all the actors do. They come in, hey, I take you lunch, and so it was pretty cool. I got some fun lunches with some cool guys, but he was such a great talent then, and it was funny to see after I moved back here, all of a sudden he started doing that. And he did the Frozen movie in that voice and played that.
Oh,
and
wow.
now he's in everything and all of it. So
He's worth $20 million now. So do you know him when he's pretty poor then, right?
Oh yeah, he was.
Struggling.
Struggling actor. As I don't know what his financial life was like prior to it. A lot of kids that get out there that are successful already have a little bit of financial help to get there. Maybe some nepotism, maybe something that.
Right.
Because, it really is a grind. You're dropping every dreamer in the world in a spot. Mm-hmm. And
And they're
It's a
all
rat
chasing the
race.
same dream. The same thing is what everybody's going after. And it's only going to one person.
So the Homer Simpson guy, what was his name again?
Dan Castellaneta.
He's had a job for 30-something years because they've been on. And there's some of the people play multiple.
Yeah, they do a bunch of different
Hank
voices.
Azaria.
I don't know if he does more.
What's he make a year, you think? What's his name?
Dan Castellaneta.
I'll look him up.
There was something I was going to talk about L.A. I can't remember what it was. The auditions there. I mean, that just had. Oh, it was about Brad Pitt. He recently went on the Dak Shepard podcast, and he was talking about when he was an actor, you couldn't get your SAG card unless you had a line in a movie, and you couldn't get a line in a movie unless you had a SAG card.
Right.
So he's like, how the fuck am I going to do this?
It's the weirdest dance, and it's the way that you get in. You have to have a friend who can give you a SAG voucher. You get a SAG voucher by getting on a set as an extra.
Right.
If you get enough of those vouchers, now you can be an extra a million times and not get 3 vouchers. But if you get 3 vouchers, then you can get your SAG card.
So
a voucher is typically just being on the movie sets a whole lot. During that time, you make the relationships with the casting directors and the people on the sets, and then you have like a production assistant or somebody there that decides to hand out vouchers, and if they do, then you get one, and you have your piece of paper, and it's like one more of these, and I'm SAG, you know. So it really is a struggle just to get in. It's a lot of times people come into those agencies, and most all the agencies were like, hey, if you pay us $500, we're going to do this for you, da 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 da. You know, and any agency that's worth itself in gold wasn't going to ask you to pay them anything.
Right.
You know, and that's nowadays with kind of just I was talking to you before about the NIL stuff, you know, it's just those deals where an agency should not come in and ask somebody to pay them money because now they're making money from the university.
Right.
It should be the other way around.
Yeah.
But people just get taken advantage of, you know, and on that same podcast, Brad was saying something about he's like, that's the one thing I never did. I never slept with a man or something like that. You know?
I heard that. Yeah.
And you know, the thing is I can think that that's true. I mean, he's the type of guy that probably in his career, you know, I mean, out there, nothing surprises me at all with anything because actors are there's this big manipulation, this big trick that gets guys to do stuff. And I would always say that if you don't follow along, you're probably not going to get famous.
Right. Yeah.
You know? I mean, I'm not saying that's the case for everything, but you know, for out there, that's the way the world was for a while, and that's the way they preyed on people coming in. Now there's a little bit of pushback, but you know, I mean, still people are still willing to do what they can to get famous.
Oh, 100%.
You know, and that's just the nature of it.
And what's crazy is like Brad Pitt's this good looking guy. He's a great actor. And like just to think that he struggled to get that first break, like that's got to be daunting to
He was just another
actor.
pretty face in the crowd.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, a place full of pretty people, I guess.
That's it. I mean, there's a million of him. I mean, there's so many people there I'd see as like, wow, that guy's way better looking than Brad Pitt ever, you know, it's like, but something comes out of his mouth and they're like, oh, no, now we know why. You know, Brad is an excellent actor.
Oh, 100%.
You know, I think a lot of people forgot that he can really, he kind of, once he got with Robert Redford.
Yeah.
And, you know, he kind of gave him the drill, I think, as far as just, hey, this is the type of guy that you want to be in Hollywood and you'll have a long career. Have you seen F1?
No, I haven't yet. Is that any good?
Yeah, it's good.
It is?
I saw it in one of those D-box seats.
Yeah?
Where they, it's 3D, but then your seat is just like you're in one of those rides.
Really?
It's moving around. It's shifting with every little thing.
Does it mess you up like visually?
No.
It
It's
doesn't make you sick?
No, it's good. Actually, I did the D-box without it was one without the 3D.
Okay.
But it's a great movie. It's fun. It really does kind of pull you in, you know. And
see, COVID kind of screwed movie watching up for me because I used to be a big movie guy. I'd love going to the movies and doing the whole thing. Number one, it's a $100 bill with 4 of us. And like now with streaming the way that it is, everything came out straight to streaming. So any big movie came straight there and I didn't even have to leave my house. So COVID's kind of ruined movie watching for me. I think we went and took the boys to How to Train Your Dragon. We went and saw that, but
I saw Lilo and
But
Stitch.
I've seen that they're trying to do the movies again. Like, I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's a new movie that's coming out. It's a remake, obviously, but it's going to be exclusively in theaters. F1 exclusively in theaters. Like, they're trying to relaunch movie going again.
I'm sure Carmike and those big movie theaters are having to do some lobbying because it's killing them.
Yeah.
Cinemark?
I went to we seen Lilo when we were on with the grandkids at Florida.
Yeah.
At Disney World.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've been to a movie theater, I bet, in 3 years.
Yeah.
Because I don't care about going to movies. I'd rather watch them at 10 o'clock at night at home.
Yeah.
Now, I'll stream a good movie. I started to watch Napoleon the other day, but you told me it wasn't that good.
It's long.
Yeah, and so I didn't watch it. But I'm just not going to. I don't care about. There's so much stuff to watch on TV, and there's very few new movies come out that really interest me.
Right. Well, now they have so much great programming on the 8-episodic television stuff. I mean, it's cinematic quality.
Yes.
You know, I remember I saw John Adams back in 2000. It's some
That's a great
2006
series.
with Paul Giamatti.
Very good.
And I watched that back then. I was in LA, and I remember thinking, I cannot believe that this is a TV show.
Yeah.
The production value on
That's
this.
a very, very good series. Not very many people have watched it. It's
I
good.
know. It really kind of it really drops you right in the middle of his history at that time, you know. And as I've gotten older, I've become very, you know, tied into history stuff. I saw Outlaw King the other day. I didn't realize how good that movie is. It's with Chris Pine.
I haven't seen that.
And it's the Robert Bruce story after William Wallace died, and how he eventually became the king of Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
Scotland.
'cause
Scotland. Yeah.
Braveheart.
Yeah, and so, but that was a really good movie.
Is it like Braveheart? A lot of
There's a lot of violence in it, but it's not as it's not as melodramatic as Braveheart, you know. And it's still the fighting, and it's all the medieval fun stuff.
Yeah.
You know, no dragons or anything, but it's just
that's when you lose me.
yeah.
Throw a dragon
Game
in,
of
I'm
Thrones, yeah.
I've never watched it,
It's a great show.
It is a great
and
show.
everybody has told me that.
And Stranger Things got me. I had to come back to it like 2 or 3 times. But the last time, whatever, I don't know what it was. Something clicked with me about Stranger Things. So now I'm ready for the new season to come out to finally end in November. But I think you're right though. Something shifted, and maybe it is just the quality. But like people had, I think networks or production companies realize that people have an appetite for that 8-episode series or whatever. I think for a long time, production companies I guess they didn't think that Americans had the attention span to sit down and do like 8 hours of this intense thing. But now we see how popular long form podcasts are and everything. But I think for a long time the formula was 30 minutes, laugh track, you know, the whole thing.
Oh,
And
the sitcom world, and
this
just
is all that. This is all the attention span that people have. And then, like you said, John Adams or whatever comes out, and people are like, "Whoa, wait a second!
this is true production.
People
value
people do want 10 hours of good television."
Well, and remember too, whenever you see something, you know, if you've ever been to a great movie, it's 2 hours long and it's over with, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so good, I want to see it again. But you're just seeing it again.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if you go watch a good TV series, you start 2 hours in, you're like, oh, I got 6 more hours to go. You know, I'm ready to. There's a lot here. You know, I can binge this.
Yeah.
You know, I hate the ones that I get so addicted. I'll sit there. I can't think of it for the life of me right now because I've watched so many of them recently. But there was a really good one. I'll have to find it pretty soon, hopefully I'll think of it. But it was one of those where I would sit there at 3 o'clock in the morning going, I have to go to bed. I got 2 more episodes. I can't watch them. I can't finish it. You know?
Yeah. So knowing what you knew from your time in LA, did you like fall out of love with kind of the industry in a way?
Yeah, I did. I didn't fall out of love with the consistent content creation and always being creative and looking at new things. Branding to me is, I didn't realize it, but it has become a fascination in the sense of how does somebody tell their story with, first of all, the logo. Mm-hmm. You know, you got to tell your story. You got to jump something. And so there's stories in that, you know, you guys have a story,
Right.
you know, and the best part about marketing and being able to do that. And I guess even if you're showing a movie, you're really just trying to sell somebody something, an ideal or entertainment. You're just convincing them to spend time with you.
Right.
And to pay attention to your quality of work. And so when you can tell that story then the work speaks for itself.
Right.
You know, then they're already bought in, and then people come in and really pay attention to what it is. First episode of the pilot episode.
Right. Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And that's the one thing I wish I hadn't done when I went to LA. The reality world stuff, reality TV had popped up huge. So whenever I got signed with CAA for this television show called Spotcha, this pilot that we did, and we went and pitched it to them, and this is before YouTube was really kind of blowing up, and this is way before TikToks or anything like that. But we were doing the same stuff that those guys do. They're doing weird stuff on the streets, messing with people, and you know, and watching them, but then also telling people, hey, we'll give you 15 minutes of fame, but you got to do this, you know. And the irony is on our first episode that we shot in 2002, we had this lady standing out there and really making a silly fool of herself with all this American stuff, whatever. But it was Trump for president, and this was 2002. Yeah, because we thought it would just be funny. It's like, oh, it'd be great if he was president. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And how it all came back around with it. But I wish that I hadn't done that, because it was you get wrapped into a thing of like making a lot of cheap content that just try to sell, and then you get looped into, and to kind of get back into the production game again was. You know, it was getting too tiring, and I was already ready to come home. As soon as Cooper was born, Tiff and I both checked out, kind of. You know, it was like, okay, let's go back home to Texas.
Yeah.
You know?
I imagine the acting world, you know, how competitive that is, but it's got to be even more competitive on, like, the script world or the show world, because there's only, you know, a show is going to have so many actors in it, so you're going to have more, but there's a finite amount of shows and movies that are going to get made in a year.
Yeah, yeah, and... Well, nowadays, because of the streaming situations and because technology has made it so much easier to make films, now you can make a very good quality $3 million film. Very good quality. You know, a lot of
that's low budget? I mean, it sounds like a lot of money to us.
No,
$3 million?
Yeah,
$3 million?
That's low. That's
low budget?
Yeah, yeah. 5 is what? I mean, if you're talking about... But typically, that pulls in a name. You know, you've got to kind of have that name that gets attached to that as well. But technology has made it easier to make good content. But the issue still is always putting this back together. So, for example, I wrote a script called The Ants and Lights back in 2009 while I was still in LA. And we've had that thing optioned so many different times.
Got to be your control.
Oh, it's my phone. I'm sorry.
We've had that thing optioned so many different times with different directors or producers. And right now we just decided to set with somebody that we know is a great producer and that really loves the story. And you know, it's a horror story
about the ants and
lights. We kind of took our own liberties with it and made this really neat thriller. And there's some neat stuff involved with it. But you know, I'm not the type to just kind of do a basic kind of story. There's got to be something that kind of gives it some oomph. And I don't mean just the blood and stuff, but the story characters. And so. We're very proud of that, and we've got a couple of those scripts. But man, I stopped pushing them all because at this point, it's every writer, director, they want to make their own stuff.
They do.
Yeah,
they want to be director, writer.
Yeah, they want to pretty much. They already have the idea of.
Yeah.
There's an amazing director named Lance Larson out of Texas. He went to UT Film School, and then he and I have been friends for 30 years. And he made Deadland recently, which came out 2 years ago. It's on Prime. You can see it there. But he has a huge grouping of all of his scripts that are in some form of... One of them right now is already greenlit. They're just deciding which actor's going to play them. And it's coming out of that situation. But they've got their setup. They've got the money set up. They've got everything ready to go with it. You know, but you never know. You never know how things are going to happen. And anything can shift. You know, and so COVID really... shifted a lot of stuff because it shut down productions.
Right.
So
start to finish, what is it, like 3 years to do a movie?
You know, nowadays that's a good on a big budget, a Hollywood.
Like F1.
Yeah. That's
3
good.
years.
2.5, 3 years. Yeah, I would say that's because they've got a pre-pro, they've got a script, they've got to make all the deals and get everything lined up. And it's $200 million film, you know, for them just to make. And, you know, the box office here used to be everything. Now, if we have a $58 million opening. That's a big box office here, but we're getting $300 million across overseas in first weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's where the global market has kind of changed things too.
Right.
But for a long time, China had come in and they were making us make a whole. Matt Damon made the film The Wall.
Yeah.
The Great Wall or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That was a Chinese movie, funded completely by China.
Really? And fuck, that's wild. I'd seen somebody, I think it was Rob Lowe, he was talking about how it's cheaper now to do everything across the pond. Like it's cheaper to fly in your crowd.
It is.
He's running like, it's like a game show he's doing. But he's like, it's cheaper to go to Scotland it might not be Scotland, cheaper to go over there for 6 weeks and fly everybody over there than it is to walk across a production lot in LA.
Yeah. Well, I mean, LA it's too expensive to shoot there. Oklahoma City right now, I think that with some of their production stuff, they're talking about maybe trying to bring in some of those shows like a Reba or, Nashville has their centric, it's become its own sort of little,
right.
It's like country market. It's the good old down Hallmark movie market. The
Nashville area,
the Nashville, yeah, all that stuff. And so, I mean, it's its own little ecological entertainment city. Putting out content, movies, everything, and it's relatable to that area. Oklahoma City, if they were to come in here and bring some sitcom television shows it would bring tourism into the area, and so I hope they really kind of keep moving along with that stuff.
Guthrie, Oklahoma is a big time movie place because its downtown area looks like Philadelphia or something in the early
way back
1800s or something, whatever it is. They've done a lot of movies. They've done a lot of movies. Now Taylor Sheridan has transformed Texas into this huge. I mean, they've made a lot of movies here, but they're filming in the Fort Worth area every day for one of his movies, and they're filming right out here, 30 miles from here. They film all the time. They film a ton of stuff at the 460s.
Yeah, they're at the 460s right here.
So we've got them 30 miles from us where they're filming a bunch. And I guess he bought a ranch in Bandera, and they filmed a lot of the Lioness. They filmed a lot of that.
Yeah,
that's maybe my favorite of his series. And I love Tulsa King, but they moved Tulsa to Austin. I think they filmed in Tulsa 1 year, and I think the second year of Tulsa King is filmed in Texas now.
They filmed the first season in Tulsa and in Oklahoma City. They used Prairie Surf Studios, which they're tearing down. They used that, and there's one scene that I got to go into those studios, but they had when he's in the prison yard in he's in the prison yard and you see the sky above. All that was green screen. The sky above is all green screen. The prison yard is built in that arena, and you can see it there. But it is when you're in there, it's just ceiling.
No shit.
But they green screened in the. They can put it in over. They can overlay it on over everything now.
I think they're moving most of that to Texas.
They
now.
are
filming it in.
He's putting. This is the number I heard. I don't know. I heard he's putting like $200 million into Texas. I heard it might be coming into the Fort Worth area.
Well,
he likes to stay closer here because downtown Fort. Well, I say here because I'm in my mind. I'm always there, but downtown Fort Worth is.
They do a ton of stuff there. One of my buddies lives in Fort Worth the other day, and they were filming in his neighborhood. Mm-hmm. He said, "Well, they're here filming again." And he was in his front yard, and they were filming like right across the street, just a random street somewhere around Toledo or Weatherford. They were filming, and they were filming in. I think where was it at? Just somewhere in Dallas the other day. They were filming because Billy Bob's because. 50% of my Facebook is Metroplex people, just about. I mean, those are people I'm attached. So you got people all the time filming things. But I mean, they're taking pictures, or they're somewhere and they were filming here. Or he was at Joe T. Garcia's eating the other night, and he was at Mary's. Someone was in Strawn the other day, and they were eating at Mary's. So I think they just make their rounds.
I got to kind of dive a little bit into that last year whenever I was doing some marketing stuff for Lalo Tequila, and they. The Lonesome Dove there, they were having a big Taylor Sheridan premiere dinner, and I was in there that day, and they were telling me all about what was going on in there. And as I was leaving later, you can start seeing all the faces of the people start rolling in and coming in. It was but it was also a big Fort Worth, the big cowboy hats and all the old guys, like the real Fort Worth people. Yeah, the socialites hanging out with the famous people and doing their sort of dinner. But I mean, Fort Worth, the stockyards, they're putting a lot into that.
They've cleaned it up a bunch. We were there in March, and a lot different than it was 20 years ago.
Oh,
or 30,
yeah.
or I guess 30 years ago when I was a college guy when we'd go down there. So
Billy Bob's brought in brought in the old management back, and I'm good friends with the operations manager there or whatever. So it's Billy Bob's is really doing some good stuff there, and they're going to continue to. I think they're going to be building a lot of that up.
it's funny how Taylor Sheridan has made people what's the word I'm looking for? Not racist, but stereotype Texans, because in the early 80s, we were all J.R. Ewing. We all owned an oil field or an oil well, and everybody thought that. Well, now Taylor Sheridan's there, and so everybody thinks everybody's landman people.
Right.
I mean, so I guess it's still they think we have an oil field. They all think we have an alley larder for a wife and whatever the little chick is for a daughter.
Well,
You know, and everybody's got these $1 million houses and flies in private jets, and they go to. There's not an uglier place in the world than Midland and Odessa.
oh,
Texas.
I know.
I
They
mean-
somehow made it look pretty for some reason.
Oh, and it's an
I don't know
absolute
how.
shithole place. I mean, it's terrible looking there. And one guy's like, "Well, do y'all really worry about the cartel blowing up y'all's oil wells and shit?" I said, first of all, that shit ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
The cartel blows up an oil well in Texas, and that'd be the end of that shit. They've already the border shut down anyways, pretty close.
It's amazing how
Makes
much they've
good
shut
TV,
that.
though.
Yeah.
But people do though. They're like, well,
does.
y'all ever worry about the cartel blowing up y'all's oil wells and stuff out there? I said, no, that's TV.
You're right, though. It is. You've got to find that little additional conflict in every sort of story. It's like,
Embellish.
yeah, that's just the way people watch stuff. People don't watch just basic normal. There's always got to be a little bit of something.
Where is Billy Bob Thornton from? He's not a Texan.
Louisiana.
That guy is a phenomenal actor.
Oh my God.
I mean, he played What was that guy's name?
Sling Blade?
Yeah,
He wrote that.
yeah.
Yep.
He had Dwight Yoakam was in that movie. with him.
What an incredible! I mean, he's an
96 when that movie came out.
incredible actor.
Arkansas.
Arkansas, that's right. Never
Arkansas.
mind.
And we're at in Arkansas.
Hot Springs.
Okay, but he is a phenomenal actor, and he plays his role so well. But his role on Landman, I don't even know the guy's name. I can't think of it right now.
It's basically Billy Bob.
But he is
Basically, yeah.
But when he talks about I don't drink no more, when you've had 6 Michelob Ultras, and he says something like, "That's not drinking." He goes, "You give me 6 Jack and Cokes," and he said, "You can see what the fucking difference is. There's a difference between me drinking or Jack, whatever he says." But I thought that's a drunk, because that's the truth.
Yeah, 100%.
And because I've known guys like that, they can drink beer all day and they're fine, but you give them one taste of whiskey and they're done.
What's crazy is how long he had gone at it. So I'm looking at his movies. Like he was in Tombstone in '93.
Is that his first movie?
He's the one that got slapped.
He's the one that got slapped.
I don't even remember
You gonna stand
that.
there and bleed?
Yeah, it's kind of towards the beginning. He actually was a little bit heavier in that movie.
Yeah, he was.
He was
Yeah.
heavy in Sling Blade.
Yeah. So, but then you had Sling Blade, you had Tombstone, Armageddon. He was in Monsters Ball in
That's a
2001.
great show.
Monsters Ball. Yeah.
Halle Berry's lucky fucker.
Bad Santa in 2003. Friday Night Lights 2004. But it's just like,
Oh, Friday Night Lights. That's right. Yeah.
and now here we are, 2025, and like he's big now.
Was he Gary
Like, those
Gaines
were-
in that movie?
He was the head coach. I
Yeah,
mean,
Gary
he
Gaines.
had big roles then, but like, I don't think he had the stardom that he has now. Like he's big. It seems like.
Well, many times when these actors, they have their ebbs and their flows, right? Back then, I thought he was big because he was married to Angelina Jolie, and I'm in
Right.
LA, right?
Yes.
Monsters Ball is happening there, and so he's right there with that, all of, kind of that world. So I felt after he had just become popular, I felt like everything he was in was Billy Bob, and then it felt like he dropped off for a while, but then.
Maybe that's what it is.
But the thing about Hollywood, you strike gold. It's the same thing. It's if you get a good show. Taylor Sheridan, I used to watch him on Sons of Anarchy, and I was like, this he just has a little. But he typically was that third guy from the left, the third cop, and he said he was told in an audition that you're going to be nothing more than the third guy to the left. You're always going to be that cop thing. And so he said, screw it. And he started writing for himself.
And Sicario made him a very, very successful man.
Well, what really, he wrote Hell or High Water. He got nominated for an Oscar for that.
The
With
one in
Jeff
Texas,
Bridges.
that's a good show about robbing the banks.
Yes, but, they filmed that in New Mexico because Texas wouldn't let them film it back here back then because the tax breaks.
So is that why Netflix has done so many movies in Albuquerque area?
Oh, yeah. So New Mexico has been, for a long, long time, has been the cheapest place to shoot, I would say, since the 90s for sure.
Because Breaking Bad the first couple of years I really liked on it. I
Yeah,
really did.
yeah.
I liked the story about it. You know, guy's down on his luck, gets his deal, and then they kind of went over. And I watched the
became
whole
too-
thing, but it lost me kind of. But then I love Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
I thought that was the better one. I liked it better than I did Breaking Bad.
Oh goodness, that actor. Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
The main guy.
Yes.
Crap.
Goodness, he was a CESD as a voice actor at one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Bob Ardkirk.
Odenkirk. Yes, Odenkirk. Bob Odenkirk. Yes, that's it. Yes.
But he's great.
Yeah.
That's a great series. I like it better than Breaking Bad. I really did. I hated when they ended it. I really, really, really like Better Call Saul.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really the same thing as Better Call Saul, but The Bondsman with Kevin Bacon. Have you seen that?
I have not.
I'm not spoiling anything.
Yes, I have.
He
seen
plays
it.
this bondsman that gets he gets killed, and then like all of a sudden now he's alive again.
Yeah, it lost me on that part.
It was fun for a little while, first episodes, but it just kind of had a little bit of that same kind of vibe. I like that that back in the backwoods places, and
That's why I like
Louisiana.
Duster.
Yeah.
Have
I
you
like
seen
that
that?
actor too.
Have
He's
you seen
come back.
Duster?
Who?
Duster?
No.
It touches on some history, and that really I like it. Like when they go back to Colonel Parker's at in Florida or in Palm Springs.
What episode is that?
I don't know. They go get the blue suede shoes.
I'll have to see if I'm
He gets a job and he's got to get the blue suede shoes from Elvis from Colonel Parr. And Bridget Bardot is in there, this good looking big titty brunette chick,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
tells her, he's like, listen, if you'll get him alone, you can get in on the next movie or something. And then he ends up walking out and he's got the blue suede shoe. I like that show.
I like that actor. I'm trying to think of his name. He was in Lost. He was Sawyer's. He played Sawyer in Lost. I can't think of his Josh something. Oh goodness, you made me think of something. What were you say? The history. Blue suede shoes. Oh, so funny piece of history from our family. So Mayborn and Axton wrote Heartbreak Hotel for Elvis. Mm-hmm. And so we're a part of the Boren family. We're Borens as well. So May and my grandmother were first cousins.
What's the last name?
May Boren Axton.
Like
May
Hoyt Axton?
Yeah, Hoyt Axton's mom.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and John and Hoyt were brothers. And so Matt Axton is singing now. I went and saw him. He came to town here last year to do a concert or do a show here in Fort Worth. But, Hoyt, of course, Joy to the World and all that stuff.
Didn't he write Blue Suede Shoes? Hoyt Axton?
No. May wrote Heartbreak Hotel.
Okay, but he didn't. I thought Hoyt Axton wrote a famous song.
He wrote Joy to the World.
Okay.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog. And Sticky Bony Fingers.
I remember both of those. Mm-hmm. Joy to the World, was that Ray Stevens?
Three Dog Night.
Three Dog Night. What was it Joy Stevens sung that wasn't
Ray Stevenson?
Yeah, Ray Stevens. What did he had a song, Misty was his big other song.
Yeah.
And he's also something else, something about children. I forget what's the name of that damn song he had.
Talking about kids, I've noticed this with my kids is, and maybe I was this way, I don't know, but the first answer is not enough.
No.
They want to know, like he wants to know, he asks me a question, I give him an answer, and he wants to know, like, well, why? And back in the day, when we were growing up, it's just like, it's just the way it is.
Yeah,
but now you've got the technology that you can go a level deeper under the surface to see why the answer is the way that it is. And maybe all kids are that curious, and parents just didn't have the luxury of technology and AI or whatever to answer that question. But like now, I can't even remember what the last thing he asked me was.
Yeah.
And it was just like, well, why? There's got to be a reason why. And I didn't know it, of course, because I'm a dummy from Texas Tech. So he just goes out and asks Alexa, and then 3 seconds later, he's coming back reporting to me why the answer is the way that it is.
Well, see, that's the other thing too. They know that they can drill down, so
Yeah.
they don't have to ask us anymore. I don't think my boys would ask me anything other than something, whether it be spiritual or relationship oriented or something meaningful. But if it's information or if it's learn how to do something, well, they certainly love to act like they don't know how to run a lawnmower. It's like, I don't know how to do. How did I do this? Not kidding. Cooper was mowing the yard one time, and he's like, it just stopped on me. And I go, well, you might need to put some gas in it.
Watch Sling Blade.
Yeah, no doubt.
He said, he goes, well, okay, where's the gas can? I'm like, it's in the garage, right there by the.
That's the Jeff Stanfield way. If you ask enough people, are just like, just get out of the way. I'll do it yourself.
Yeah, no, I can't tell you how many times I can see he kind of moseying around. I'm like, screw it, I'll just do it.
That's why he's got that. It's smart. That's the way I do things around the house. I still do it that way. That song was Everything is Beautiful.
Everything is Beautiful.
Won a Grammy in 1970s for Ray Stevens. I knew he had another song.
Won a Grammy with it.
Yep.
Wow.
Big time hit.
I'm not ready to turn over the yard mowing yet. That's like my one thing where I can just get out of the house. I don't have to listen to anybody.
Yeah.
I can put in my ear pods.
Your head, have a couple beers.
Yeah, right?
Well, see, this is what happened. In our first house in there, I was so happy because we had a corner lot, and it was a big piece of grass, and I loved it. I thought, we're going to throw the ball out here all the time, but I totally forgot that I was going to have to mow it.
Yeah.
And then, but I would literally get excited driving home, going, man, I'm gonna get at them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fire that up, put them on my playlist and probably some Guns N' Roses and everything else, and I'm gonna pop me open a couple of Shiner lights and start walking, and literally just zone out for about 45 minutes.
Michelle took care of our yard the first 20 years. I've taken care of it the last 10 years. So it looks better now than it ever has been.
Yeah, because you hire it out.
I take care of it. It's still my responsibility.
There it is. That's right. Well, I was just say too. Now our house. The problem is sometimes you get a bigger house, you get a smaller yard.
Yeah.
And so now the yard's so small. It bothers me to even mow it because by the time I get started, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I don't get to have any fun with it, so I almost don't even want to do it.
Well, I got mine taken care of, and I like doing it that way, so I don't have to jack with it. Before we get off here, I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah.
Who's better? CCR.
You always go back to this.
Why?
Okay.
Because you just
I'm
do it
asking
to drag. You do it to drag me through the mud.
No, I don't. Or Leonard Skinner. Who's better?
Go ahead.
Oh man. Man, here's my two lines of thought. CCR reminds me so much of what I think was a form of. They were rebellious in their own way, but they weren't straightforward rebellious.
They weren't Bob Dylan.
They weren't Bob Dylan, right? But they played to the normal person. They played to the guy. They played to everybody. Leonard Skinner was a massive machine, this conglomerate of just rebel yell, country music, rock. The bigger impact, I think, is Skinner. I personally love CCR other than Simple Man. I mean, it's if I'm trying, but if I had to go with one, if I had to go see a concert, I'd go see Skinner.
Yeah.
I just said I like
by himself.
I said I like CCR better.
They're both great bands.
But you know what though? I can't say that. I think I was a little bit mad at the fact that CCR broke up so long ago.
Yeah.
If Leonard Skinner wouldn't have had the tragedy they had and would have been around for like Aerosmith, they would by far be the greatest rock and roll band ever, I think.
No doubt.
Guns N' Roses, if Axl wasn't such an asshole and would have kept playing music for another 10 years, would be at that same plateau. I think they'd be the two greatest rock and roll bands ever. Both great. One died in a plane crash. One of them got a dickhead for deal. Best guitarist of all time.
Oh.
Now I know you're a music dude, so you're gonna go somebody nobody knows nothing about.
I'm actually not, because for me, for guitarist, I have to go with what just really, I guess, impacted me as. And one of me wants to say Slash, but on the other side, it's Eddie Van Halen.
Bingo.
Like I can't. Just Eruption. I just
two
can't,
for two right now, right, Andy?
I just can't like.
I said Prince.
Prince is damn great musician.
Musician there. I mean, I don't know that there's a better musician than Prince.
He was a genius.
Yes.
I mean, but it's funny how him and Eddie Van Halen correlate together. Different kind of guys. Eddie wasn't a singer. Eddie was just a music guy. Because you listen to some of the words in some of the songs on Van Halen. He wrote the music. They just threw words in there. It didn't matter what was said. It was all about their music. But Prince wrote Manic Monday by the Bangles.
Wow.
Gave it to him. He wrote it for Apollonia and then didn't give it to her. I guess he was cutting her off. And he gave it to Manic Monday. Went somewhere and heard the Bangles sing and gave it to the little hot brunette. I can't remember her name, but she's good looking.
Yeah, I always liked her.
But who didn't?
From that
Less Than
music
Zero.
Video. Oh, Less Than Zero.
Wow. Woo.
It's a great movie.
Hazy Shade of Winter. Mm-hmm. But Eddie Van Halen wrote the riff for Beat It.
Yes, I
And
did know that.
Didn't take no money for it. Michael Jackson goes to Dallas and plays at the Cotton Bowl or at Texas Stadium or one of his big concert deals, and Eddie Van Halen surprises everybody and comes on stage and does a riff during the deal. Andy don't think Michael Jackson was a great.
I don't. Here's what I said. I understand he's the king of pop. I personally don't understand it. I'm not a big fan of
Andy's
his.
0 for 3 on
I
these
don't
things.
understand what. I don't understand. I just wasn't alive at the time of his height. So
Yeah.
I think Michael Jackson.
his music doesn't really do anything for me.
But see, the Thriller music video
right?
catapulted Michael Jackson. He was already on that rise, and he was the one they were putting out front. Mm-hmm. But when they did that Thriller, it was a $1 million music video. They got Vincent Price.
Yep.
And they aired it on a Friday night.
They only paid him like $25,000. He passed up getting royalties off of it, and I'll just take a check for $25,000.
Well, he just thought it was a stupid music video.
Yep.
He didn't realize
Oh, really?
it was a piece of art.
damn-
He didn't realize what it was.
Yeah. And
Timeless.
He didn't, that's like somebody big now putting an effort into somebody young and not really thinking about like, oh, I'm Vincent Price.
Right.
He's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll take the money. And but that's when it blew up for me. That's when I remember watching that video. We all sat around, everybody was excited on a Friday night, and the kids, and we sat there, and I was scared to death. And I was like, I was like 8, and so it was just that for me is when Michael Jackson became Michael Jackson.
Do you remember? Now you're younger than me, so you might not remember this, but Pepsi did something because they sponsored his because he caught on fire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they had some kind of Pepsi done some kind of giveaway where you could wear tickets to steal. Michael Jackson.
Victory Tour.
Yeah, Victory. I told Andy, I said, you just can't imagine. I grew up when it was stadium rock and roll guys. Mm-hmm. I grew up when Van Halen was
Monsters of Rock.
Big time, all that shit. And these big bands and Madonna came out and all this big thing. There was nothing like Michael Jackson. I mean, he was everywhere. If you turn down if they did the Casey Kasem's top 40, there'd be in the top 40, he'd have 5 songs in the top 40 at one time off that Thriller album.
Yeah.
And PYT, I mean, that was just a phenomenal.
Smooth Criminal,
Yeah.
PYT.
And I wasn't, I think Michael Jackson was a weird dude and he had a lot of problems and there's a lot of weird shit and he probably should have went to Epstein's Island, that kind of bad guy. But when it come to being a musician, he was absolutely a genius. And I said the other day, Elvis Presley was the king of rock and roll. Michael Jackson was the king of pop.
I absolutely agree. And I'll say this too, though, but
Prince was second.
I have a sneaky suspicion that Michael Jackson, he was also a product of the bad things.
Oh, he was groomed big time. They got on him. I mean, he was a child star.
Yeah.
Every child star's jacked. Look at Miley Cyrus.
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
Does anybody else think she's kind of pretty in a way, though?
she is. She has that look. She has that country kind of just country girl.
She got something
fun,
about
yeah.
her. She's just weird, but
when she was younger, when she was with Disney, she
was
was
Hannah Montana.
she was with CESD, and Billy Ray Cyrus was with us as well.
Is he a weird dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah, I
seems a
mean, he
little
is now. I mean, he's just, I don't know. I mean, he was always just kind of very eccentric.
So when does all that come on? Because like you see all these actors and they've all got these quirks, but like you said earlier, like you really got to sell yourself in Hollywood to get the opportunity. So you got to seem like a normal guy to get the job. Like, is that weirdness always in there, or does that come out like after you've kind of been in this industry and like the only people that you surround yourself with are kind of these leeches and they're bringing out the bad in you?
Let me ask you this. John Cena.
Yeah.
When he first came on the scene,
Right?
what was his persona? What was the deal? How do we look at John Cena?
Just kind of this meathead wrestler guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Muscle bound, meathead
Yeah, yeah.
stuff. Now what's happening now? Now, I mean, he's playing all the comedy roles.
Right.
He's getting into this thing. And, even to the point to where they had him run out naked, covered up in the Oscars. Many times in Hollywood, what they want to do to somebody is they want to embarrass them so that they'll eventually, hey, you got to do this for us if you want to do this. I'm not
Right.
saying that's the case, but
Right.
I don't think he's making choices that he really
Yeah.
would really want to make. He's probably making money for some people.
Right.
Just making these kind of buddy things and being goofy. And
Yeah.
kind of Rock did that for a while.
Uh-huh.
But you have to do that to get into the system to the point to where they say, okay, now we're going to turn you into a superstar.
Right. You got to play the game to by their rules.
Yeah.
And then if you play the game right, then we'll give you this big thing.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey was a weird one because he's talked about it where he was the rom-com guy.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to be the rom-com guy anymore. So he just took 2 years, 3 years off and then kind of went away. And then he started getting roles that he wanted.
Well, what he did is he walked away from that mold that they were putting him into. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, when he started off, he was Wooderson. He started off on fire. He did A Time to Kill. Mm-hmm. I mean, that incredible, like at the time, Sam Jackson, you've got Sandra Bullock, you've got all these great actors in this thing, Donald Sutherland. And, you know, goes in the stratosphere. Then he does Amistad, which is a Steven Spielberg movie. And they did Contact, which were big budget movies, but they didn't really do a lot for him, from McConaughey. So he kind of slipped into this place. Did you ever see the movie Reign of Fire, where he played like the Dragon Slayer?
Yeah.
That was kind of him stepping out on his own stuff. But whenever he decided to do Dallas Buyers Club, and they did True Detective, that first series of True Detective.
Phenomenal show.
I've broken that thing down as structurally as a story. It is quite possibly the most perfect series story.
Really?
And most people don't really realize, thank you. Most people don't really realize that the opening scene,
I'm trying to think of what it
that
was.
burning, you see some footsteps. Just watch the opening scene again. Oh, sorry, thank you. And it basically the opening scene is actually the last scene of the film.
I got to go back and watch it now. My brother is
of the entire show.
Yeah. My brother is a True Detective, just aficionado. I don't know how many times he's watched it. I've watched it once, but now that you're saying that it's this masterpiece, I think I might need to go back and revisit it.
And Woody Harrelson and McConaughey, and also too, if you go in and look through the thing, you'll start to see all of these Easter eggs of like the Yellow King, the story of the Yellow King with the cult and all this stuff. But the dynamic, I mean, that was as good as anything Robert Redford and Paul Newman ever did together.
Yeah.
You know, just the way they hated each other, but they were good together, you know. So it was great. But he did that, and that's when he came back.
Right,
Dallas Buyers Club, that he took back his life, and he just said, it's mine. My career's mine, and I'll walk away forever. I've already done what I need to do.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Lone Star he was in? Mm-mm. Watch that movie.
Lone Star?
Lone Star, 1996, John Sayles movie. It's got Chris Cooper, and it's got Chris Christopherson. And Chris Christopherson plays a border sheriff that was just a bad dude back in the day, and he goes missing.
Yeah.
30 years later, they find his body in the desert, and now Chris Cooper plays the cop that had to follow the story, and then he starts investigating and talking to all the old timers. But Matthew McConaughey played the Buddy Deeds from back in the past. So, and it's a great story. John Sayles.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, John Sayles, an Oscar-winning writer. I mean, but that movie is great. It's Texas. It's really cool because it's got a lot of that border. Even back then, you know, just the differences of Texas border and Mexico border, and all the cross blending of people and, you know, cultures and stuff. So it's a great movie.
True Detective, Matthew McConaughey, like he never really rebounded physically, so he still looked kind of like he did in Dallas Buyers Club. He had no weight on him.
Yeah.
So, but it was great for his character, especially when he's got the handlebar mustache and he's being interviewed by the police.
And he's sitting there with that. He's got his slits. Is it slits?
I think it's Lone Star.
It is Lone Star.
I think it's Lone Star.
It would be Lone Star for him.
It's Saturday, and I drink on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So you boys are going to have to go get it.
There you go. Go get me a 6-pack.
I'll have to go back and rewatch that. Did you watch season 2 of True Detective?
Yeah, I watched them all. 2 was...
Has that got Colin Farrell in it?
Yeah, it was set in L.A., and 2 just kind of went off the rails a little bit. I think it was trying to be a little more... I don't know. I mean, it kind of went a different direction. There was a lot of infighting once that TV show got popular. I believe Paluzzo, the director or somebody, they all started having infighting with it.
Really?
Yeah. It's typical. The same thing that happened with Taylor Sheridan and Kevin Costner. Same type of stuff.
Right.
Egos. getting away.
Get the best of everybody.
But McConaughey is coming back for a True Detective.
Oh, is he? Woody's coming also?
Yeah, I believe they're bringing them both back for it.
They're brothers.
They seem like it.
Those guys are, yeah.
They go everywhere.
They did Ed. Did you ever see Ed? Ed TV back in the 90s? They did that together. That was good. That's fun.
They did another movie together, I think. I think they've done a bunch, but I think maybe like a stoner type movie. I'd have to look it up. Back to the topic of guitar players. You know, Adam Levine is actually a very, very good guitar player.
Incredible musician.
He did. I was going to try to pull it up, but I don't know if my laptop's. They did on The Voice, him and his one contestant that made it to the final, they did While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and he just shredded it. So Adam Levine is actually...
There's a lot of really great... Roy Clark was a great guitar player. There's a lot, but there's Eddie Van Halen.
There's one.
He's the greatest of all time, by far. Stevie Ray Vaughan was great. There's tons of great ones that we don't even know about. But Eddie Van Halen, to me, is the king of the guitar.
Yep.
And I'm very biased because I'm a huge Van Halen fan, always have been. And
well, speaking of that too, the Robert Johnson on Netflix, they have the Robert Johnson at the Crossroads, that story about him making a deal with the devil at the Crossroads.
I have not seen it, but it's on my list.
Have you guys seen Sinners?
Yes. Yeah, I saw that. That was a good show.
That's an exploration into Dante's Inferno. If you watch that again.
Really?
Do a little thing on Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
And basically, the vampires in that movie. Listen to Kevin Smith's podcast about it. But those vampires in that movie are not vampires; they're demons.
Really? Well,
if you watch it right and you see it, if you look at it as them being demons and the main vampire being
the head demon,
the devil.
Yeah. Because
if you watch it as that, that's the movie you're watching.
Because once they killed him, everything. So that makes sense. But that one lady, because you had the I don't know what you would call her. She's not a witch, but she knows about kind of that world.
Yeah.
She called them something else, but she said no. These aren't that. What did she call them?
It was it's a voodoo term.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, and then she's like, "These aren't them." That was just a great movie, like the way that they had to be invited in and everything. Like I thought that was really.
It stayed by the same. I mean, it stayed by the same principles with it all, you know.
Yeah.
But
who would have thought that they could redo a vampire movie today and make it into Sinners into this big hit? You know what I mean?
Sinners is going to get nominated for an Oscar.
That's crazy, right?
It will. I guarantee you it will, because the soundtrack was amazing. You know, you just think about the production quality. Ryan Coogler. It's just, I mean, it's all ripe. Michael B. Jordan probably get nominated for both roles, actor and supporting actor. Smoke and Stack. Yeah, and then you got Haley Steinfeld, who's obviously always an Oscar contender at anything she does. So, you know, she's in there. And that new gal that played, I think, Smoke's girlfriend. Smoke?
The black lady.
Yeah, she was really good.
Because one of them was with Haley Steinfeld, and then one of them was with the lady at the end. And then what's the guy's name that was he's been in a lot of movies. He was in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Delroy Lindo?
Yeah, he was in there.
Yeah.
He was really good. Yeah, I really like Sinners. I had to watch it in a couple different settings because it was...
Look at it in... I mean, when you do see it again, just kind of look at it in that sort of... The inferno in which these... I mean, you know, at the end, who survives, right? What they have to go through in order to sort of... And it's a pretty neat... it's got its allegorical, you know, connections and with that as well. But it's definitely a religious film. It's meant to be. And then, of course, the musician. Oh, what was his name?
The kid, the preacher kid.
Yeah,
preacher boy.
Yeah, preacher boy. He was that was essentially kind of his story at the end. You know, him kind of telling the story about going out and doing something. So whether it's mythical or whatever, but you know, you never know.
But that's what makes a good movie is it's deep on a bunch of different levels.
And I love that. I love that type of... I love that setting. For me, my favorite time period in American history is probably that from the 1900s to the 1930s. You know, I guess the Dust Bowl. The fact that we're in this Dust Bowl, and here we are jumping out of buildings because we don't have enough money. You know, it's like... It's just such a weird time, and then we go to war. You know?
It turns everything around. War's profitable, turns out.
That turns out, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's everything's set right. And I like so what it was during the 30s because they robbed Capone, Smoke and Stack. That's another thing. They're rival gangs. One's I think from Chicago and one is from New York, and they ripped both of the mobs off, and that's how they had enough money to come back south and start this juke.
Yeah, I sure like the way those guys at the end are going to come back and take him out.
Yeah, not happening.
It's
Not
a
with
good
Michael
movie.
B.
But
Jordan.
yes, Eddie Van Halen.
The greatest ever.
I mean, Running with the Devil. That's kind of where I probably jump. I mean, all
To
that.
Sinners?
Yeah, so it's.
There we go.
You've
The
got.
greatest-
Yeah.
the greatest
He wins.
ever. We're going to end it with Van Halen being the greatest ever.
Cool. All right.
2 hours.
Gentlemen.
Great
thank you.
podcast.
2 hours?
Yep.
Wow.
And that's good because we don't have to look at the clock. We know it's good. Byron, we appreciate you being on here, bud. God bless you and your family. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. Y'all watch for
Peace. See y'all.
Yep.
Come to Delta and see me. I'll be in Oklahoma City. Andy will be signing autographs. Peace. Good night. Bye.